excitement. We got Olympic music. Brian Gumbel will be walking through the room anytime now. Tony Messenger in for McGraw Millhaven with Kelly Jackson here on the Big 550 KTRS. And the Olympic music is playing because we have a gold medalist in our midst, Kelly.
Yes.
And I was commenting as gold medalist Jordyn Wieber was walking in. Did I get your name right?
Yes.
I got it, because you can't mispronounce a gold medalist name.
I know.
Gold medalist, U.S. Olympian gymnast, is here to talk about the, what do we have? We have men's Olympic trials going on at Chaffetz Arena.
Yes.
And tell us what that's going to be like. Why do people in St. Louis need to get out there and see what some of the top gymnasts in the world are doing?
So it's actually two events in one. We have the men's Olympic trials as well as the women's national championships. So this is a really important time for both the men and the women. The girls are kind of getting geared up. This is the step right before Olympic trials. This is what qualifies them to Olympic trials and the national team. So this is going to be a really exciting event. I remember being in this position 4 years ago and just feeling all the excitement for the Olympics coming up really soon, and the pressure starts to get a little more intense around this time, but at the same time, it's all the more reason to get people out supporting and cheering in the audience.
Is there a difference as an athlete as you're going into a championship, which is, sort of like, this is the big tournament that you've been training for your whole life, as compared to an Olympic trials? Or an Olympic trials, is it very much like the championship where the process and what you do is similar?
Well, the process and pretty much mentally, we go into every competition thinking the same thing. Every competition is just as important in the selection of the Olympic team. They're going to kind of take every meet into account. So I would say that this competition is almost just as important as the Olympic trials, because you have to go out there and prove yourself and compete really well in order to qualify to the Olympic trials even. So I'd say mentally we kind of go into it with the same thoughts.
It always amazes me when I watch gymnastics and someone will be on the balance beam competing, another person will be on uneven bars, and another person doing the floor routines. It's all happening at once. How in the world? I guess you have to be completely, in the zone.
Yeah, it takes a lot of mental strength. I mean, that's something that we practice. Not only do we practice our routines and our skills, but you have to practice your mental game as well. A lot of people say that gymnastics is 70% mental and 30% physical, which I have to agree with. You have to practice a lot of visualization and being able to tone out all those distractions that are occurring at any time, really.
When you go into the Olympic trials, obviously you have a group of young men and young women who have been working since they were probably 7, 8, 9, 10 to get to this point. It's intense. This is their dream. This is everything. And yet you're also a team.
Yeah.
You're going to represent your country. How does that balance in the national championship and the trials while you're on one hand trying to build the American quality so that you can go to the Olympics and be a great team that can defeat the other countries that you're going to compete with, and yet in the heat of that moment, that young woman next to you is potentially taking your spot and you're not going to let her do it. How does that balance out?
I think that's what makes the sport of gymnastics so unique. It's an individual sport, pretty much in itself, but then at the same time, we have to build this team. We have to go to London and compete as a team. And looking back on the Fierce Five and how we did in London, I don't think we would have won that gold medal if we weren't so bonded as a team. So I think when we're out there on the competition floor, depending on what kind of competition is, if it's the team competition, then we are 100% supporting each other, cheering each other on. And if one person falls, then that affects the entire team. It's not individual, but it's a hard balance, because sometimes you're standing there and you want to beat the girl next to you, and you want to do really well individually. So I think for me, I've always been a super team-oriented person, and keeping that mindset helped me do better individually. Just supporting other people helped me kind of stay calm and just kind of relax during competition and not be too much in my head. So I think kind of focusing that energy on other people really helped me in competition.
Do you still talk to your other, the other four of the Fierce Five? And what are you doing these days?
I do still talk to them. I think that we'll always have this special bond between the 5 of us, and it's really exciting to watch Gabby and Allie especially continue competition, and I'm really excited to cheer them on. And then right now, I just finished my 3rd year at UCLA. I'm studying psychology, so I have one more year there, and so I'm just kind of enjoying post-gymnastics life and exploring a lot of different opportunities and having fun.
Great. Fantastic.
I have to go back to this competition thing because I find it amazing. Because I'm a sports fan, and you know, I'm like a lot of people when the Olympics come around. All of a sudden, I'm paying attention to gymnastics and stuff that I don't normally know much about and pay much attention to because my kids play other sports. But does the team bonding begin during the national championship and the team trials, or is it? You're all at it, just going to make that team, and then at some point the coach brings you all together and says, "Okay, I know that 3 or 4 of you really hate each other right now, so let's all go get some pizza and start to build our team." How's that process work?
Well, these girls are meeting together once a month right now at the National Team Training Center in Houston. So they've been building these team bonds, these relationships with each other for the past 4 years, essentially. You know, when they get together at these competitions, they're competing individually, but they are a team. This is Team USA, and they're going to pick the 5 girls who are going to represent the best in London. But in the end, they've already built those relationships, and by the time they travel to Rio, they will already be bonded as a team, which I think is awesome. That's one awesome thing about the program and USA Gymnastics is that they bring everybody in from their separate training facilities and states to Houston once a month and really kind of get that team spirit flowing, and I think that's one of the reasons why we do so well as a country.
Based on your experience in London, how different is the experience between different types of Olympians? And specifically, I'm talking about how the gymnasts are usually so much younger than some of the other athletes, like, for instance, the professional basketball players that are there. Is once you're there and you're in the Olympic Village, or you're all Olympic athletes and you're all just sort of enjoying it, or is there really a difference between, say, the younger athletes and the older athletes, and depending on what sport you are, how much fun you're having, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I did kind of realize when we got to London, we were probably the youngest girls in the Olympic Village, but that didn't stop us from meeting a lot of new people. We met so many amazing athletes, not just from Team USA, but from other countries, and we were just we were young, but we wanted to meet new people, and we would introduce ourselves in the dining hall to all these different athletes, which we were just having a blast. And once you're there, you don't really notice the age difference too much because you kind of recognize that everybody's there. This is the best of the best in every sport from every country. So there's kind of this mutual respect between everybody because you're all there for the same purpose, and that's to kind of celebrate sport and celebrate the Olympic Games. So once you're there, you don't really notice the age difference too much.
Are you going to Rio?
I'm not sure yet. I would love to go and cheer on, but regardless, I'll be there either watching on TV or in person. I'm not sure yet, but I can't wait to cheer everybody on.
You should be an analyst. Somebody should be calling you to be an analyst, don't you think?
I think so. That would be awesome.
I think we should start that right now. Jordyn,
okay, we're going to start a
Jordyn Wieber
campaign.
for gymnastics analyst. If you're listening out there, Bob Costas.
NBC.
Come on now, let's go. Jordyn Wieber, Olympic gold medalist gymnast. 2 weeks from now, June 23rd through 26th, the men's Olympic trials and the women's P&G national championships at Chaffetz Arena. Let's make sure that you attend, St. Louis. Thank you very much, Jordyn.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to meet you. Let's go to traffic in the St. Louis Closet Company Airborne Traffic Center with Tim Weiland.
Okay, Tony, I'll tell you what, this is an extremely
Grab a donut on your
like
way out.
Friday morning. You have just a little bit of a slowdown
Thank
on
you very much.
northbound
Nice to meet
55
you.
at Revis Barracks.